Hi, I'm Stella. Welcome to my channel. I'm just reading one of the books on my book cart. Now this is all going to add up. It is the most spectacular day. I'm out in on my balcony. For the observant people amongst you, yes, I'm wearing my painting shirt because a couple of videos ago I was in my kitchen painting and I got so many positive comments. I thought, this is what they want. They want to see me painting. So this time around I am going to be spray painting my book cart. It is either going to be fantastic or a complete disaster. Now hopefully I'll have some spray paint left over to do a bit of feminist graffiti around the place. And the other thing that I'll be doing while you're waiting for the paint to dry, I'm going to talk about some of the books on my to be read cart, in particular ones from my local library and those that have been recommended from my fellow booktubers. I've been watching lots of best books from 2021, so I've been very influenced by that. But first of all, let's unpack this cart. Realise now that I'm not going to take apart my cart. That just sounds like too much work, but I do need to cover the wheels with masking tape. A bit of a dust. Now just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Yeah, maybe leave the spray paint to the experts, but it's okay as long as you don't go too close. It's very, very dribbly. But anyway, I'll go back to that. And while the paint is drying, I'm going to enjoy a lovely cool drink and talk to you about some books. So at the beginning, I had picked up A Diva Was a Female Version of a Wrestler, an abbreviated history of world wrestling entertainment by Scarlett Harris. I have been meaning to talk about this on my channel for quite some time. It is really fantastic. I think it came out in 2021. It's really about how the world of wrestling, in particular WWE, which is World Wrestling, I think it's entertainment, but it could be incorrect, about and it aligns with the Me Too movement and how not only were female wrestlers completely undervalued but abused in a lot of respects. I know Scarlett Harris had a fantastic launch. I saw some of the photos and she's a big fan of wrestling. So that, and she's an Australian writer, and it's called A Diva Was a Female Version of a Wrestler, and I'll provide the link in the comments below. I've been visiting my library. How fantastic is it to get back into libraries after the lockdown? You know, we could always order them online. God bless librarians, but there's something so special now about going into a library. I have been totally enjoying some Tame Gazelle by Barbara Pym. Now Barbara Pym is a writer, an English writer, very underrated. Philip Larkin said she was one of the most underrated English writers ever. She's actually been likened to Jane Austen for her she's hysterically funny, but also social mores comedies. Very subtle, well, sometimes even not so subtle. It's mainly about spinsters and vicars and English villages. And she writes often about unmarried people, and in this book particular about how much they enjoy, especially Belinda, the main protagonist in the novel, there's a couple of times that she says how happy she is to be a middle-aged spinster, and she doesn't talk hugely into it. It's just an observation. So Belinda's sister Harriet, who's in her 50s, has been proposed to after just one meeting, and she turns him down, and the doctor is talking to Harriet about, like, why did you turn him down? And Harriet says, well, the only thing we have in common is a love of good food, she said, thinking that Dr. Parnell was being more than usually interfering. I could never marry Mr. Mould. But surely liking the same things for dinner is one of the deepest and most lasting things you could possibly have in common with anyone, argued Dr. Parnell. After all, the emotions of the heart are very transitory, or so I believe. I should think it makes one much happier to be well fed than well loved. And I just think that's gorgeous. That is, so one of my goals for 2022 is to read all of Barbara Pym's books. There were 10 in total. Now, I think I'm right in saying that this was actually her first book, but her last one to be published. So that's Some Tame Gazelle by Barbara Pym, and the only one I could get was in large print, but I just love it. I love it. Hardcover and beautiful book cover. It's out by the library. Other books that I have got now, I picked up a copy of Elizabeth Strout's Or Anything Is Possible at the op shop last year, but I gave it to someone as a present, so I've gotten this one out of the library. An unforgettable cast of small town characters copes with love and loss from #1 New York best-selling Man Booker Prize. Anything Is Possible tells the story of the inhabitants of rural, dusty Amgash, Illinois, the hometown of Lucy Barton, which I absolutely adored, so I'm just going to love this. Now, I have never read any Joan Didion. Now, I think she passed away in 2021, or it could be 2022. I cannot keep up anymore. So I got The Year of Magical Thinking out. Now, I also have Julia and the Shark. It is a graphic novel and a booktube channel that I follow. I think it's Katie One More Time. Highly rated this. I've seen a few booktubers talk about this, so I am looking forward to this one. Now, this one, oh God, how gorgeous does this sound? It is Lolly Willowes, Sylvia Townsend Warner. After I was watching Britta Bowler's channel, I hope I pronounced your surname correctly, Britta, and I think this was one of her top reads for 2021. It just sounds gorgeous. It's about an older woman who decides that she's had enough of being dependent on her family and she's going to go and live her own life. So it's got a bit of a theme going on here. While I was on Britta's channel, I discovered that she's actually a novelist herself. She is a fantastic German woman living in Holland. I love her videos so much. She mainly talks about women's books. She's very articulate, very studious almost. I love her books. And then she's got this great, I think it's a detective novel. How fantastic. So this was written in Dutch, but it's translated into English. I think I got that right. So I'm really looking forward to reading that one as well. What do you think? What are you looking forward to reading? You know what? Not a lot of Australian books on this pile. My cart's almost dry. I better do the second coat, and I'll see you next time for 30 books.